Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting, the 8th of November 2020, and welcome you here to share with us and love and communion and to just have fun together and to celebrate our oneness. That's what we're all about. So celebrate the love and our connection. So, see, I don't see any newcomers. Does anybody know? They're not. Everybody here is a old pillar of the church. So, uh, Cynthia, would you pray us our beginning, please?
Dear Father, Mother God, help us be strong in a world that is torn and filled with negativity. Give us hope and let us stand tall. Bring the world hope and peace for all, and let us make a difference, even if it is only slight. We ask this in the Christ consciousness and the Holy Spirit. So mote it be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Oh, mote it be. Thank you, Cynthia. All right. Fred, are you ready? Okay, why don't you go ahead and sing for us?
Hello, you guys hear me?
Yes.
Right on. Well, in light of the weather that we're having here for the first time in a while, we've been getting some precipitation. When the wind don't blow in Amarillo, when the moon down the Gunnison don't rise, and I cast my dreams upon your love, babe, and lay beneath the laughter of your eyes. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. By morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. By morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Well, mother thinks the road is long and lonely. Little brother thinks the road is straight and fine. Little darling thinks the road is soft and lovely. I'm just thankful that the road's a friend of mine. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. By morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. Come morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Bid the years goodbye, you cannot steal them. You cannot turn back the circles of the sun. You cannot count the miles until you feel them. You cannot hold a lover that is gone. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. Come morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. Come morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Tomorrow the mountains will be sleeping, silent neath the blanket blue and white, and the stars of the silence they are keeping, and it'll bring all my promises to you. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. Come morning I'll be through them hills and gone. Yes, it's snowing on Raton. Come morning, I'll be through them hills and gone. By morning, I'll be through them hills. Through them hills and gone. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. All right. Beautiful song. Steve, you're up.
All right. I'm sorry. I just fumbled my glasses. Okay. My reading today is actually today's daily guide from Science of Mind magazine for this month. And it's written by a gentleman named Jeffrey Seeley. It's kind of remarkable because he doesn't have any initials around his name, signifying that he is a religious person. But he's a senior consultant, international speaker, and author. And he does teachings on diversity and inclusion, mindfulness, and leadership. He does TEDx, and he does a number of other things. So he's kind of one of those guys that goes around and speaks to major corporations and tries to help them illuminate themselves and their people. Excuse me. And so the name of this talk is An Illumination of Source. And here's the first two quotes. The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise. That's by Maya Angelou. Illumination will come as a man more and more realizes his unity with the whole, and as he constantly endeavors to let the truth operate through him. And that's from Ernest Holmes. And here's Jeffron. A few years back, a few friends and I went on a 3-month tour that took us through 9 states, Canada, and Mexico. We were on a mission to spread a message of good, share artistic expressions, and learn from various indigenous and sustainable communities. On one particular day, we sat in the Kayasmovi village in the center of the Hopi reservation. We already knew a little about the Hopi prophecy, where humans were seduced by greed, worshipped technology, fought and hurt each other, and forgot ethical teachings they had been given to honor the earth and one another. Their prophecy highlights an opportunity for humanity to embrace a great purification, after which the Great Spirit will return, so too will the abundance of the earth. As we chatted about this revealing prophecy that spoke of the importance of massive awakenings of consciousness, we asked the elder, how can this be done? His words ring true and capture the inner voyage that many never take. He said, what we as humans must do is to take the longest journey of our life. It is not traveling around the globe, sitting on the tops of great mountains, or seeking some remote land. It is the journey from our head to our heart. This is the longest journey a human can take, and it is the journey that can bring about peace. With these words, I realized my life is not about intellect, how many books I've read, or what I think I know. It is all about being. No better, no less than anyone. Simply being the illumination of the whole and letting truth operate through me. And the affirmation for today is, I honor and appreciate my being for everything I am is an illumination of source.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Okay. Susan Barnes, and I don't know what your new other part of your name is. I haven't written that down, but she is married again. Was one of the founders of our fellowship many, many years ago. And I was one of the people that was privileged to know her and Randy before they moved here. Matter of fact, I helped them to move whenever they came down. That old brown Ford station wagon. We hauled a bunch of your stuff down, but we've been blessed with their teachings and their loves. And she is a healer. She's a herbologist as well as an energy worker and a masseuse. And her whole bent has been for the last 35, 40 years has been to bring enlightenment and healing and comfort to the world through her different modalities. And she's moved to Belize, so now we have an international speaker. And she's here to share with us today. And the title of her talk is What Matters. So let's welcome Susan.
Okay, did I unmute? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, now you'll see that I'm on two of your screens. Well, actually, because Jerry's supposed to be using one and I'm on the other. So,
But the speaker only works on the one I'm on.
yeah, I messed it up. So there's always a way, divine order. I'm talking about divine order. Steve,
Look,
you gave my talk. What matters is exactly what you said, that we are spiritual beings. And so actually I was planning on today's talk being a follow-up of Mike's talk last week on the agape love, of the times and the people that, that bring goosebumps to your lives and the profound moments that stay with us for the rest of our lives. And these are the miracles of our lives. And as we know, there are no difficulties in the order of miracles. So last week, Ron was saying that at the end of the talk, that Sunday is actually the first day of the week. So this is the time, why it's so important for us to set aside time on Sunday. It's because this helps us to remember, what is it that truly matters? So the universal source of all things, God, Creator, Holy Spirit, does not make mistakes. Okay, so we've all had painful experiences, and some of us come from backgrounds of abuse and neglect, and we all have to learn how to cope with our past so that we can move forward, and we choose to take back our power, to know what truly matters.
Susan,
Yes.
could you move? Because we're not seeing your face at all. We're seeing your.
Oh, okay, because she said that you could see me on the other one.
Okay, now we see you. You're centered in the screen. That's all. Thank you. We wanted to see your beautiful face as well as hear your voice.
Okay.
She's on two screens.
Yeah, I'm on two screens, Ron.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So anyway, so we need to learn, okay, to move forward and take back our power. So we need, this all happens the day that we choose to step on to our spiritual path, or as the Native Americans, the Hopi, the Pueblo, they would call it the Red Road. Okay, so when I first learned my art, naturopathy, okay, I was taught to do it by rote, and I could do the work, but I didn't know what I was really affecting or how to do really any of the basics of things. So when asked anything, what I was doing, I had nothing to say. because I really did not understand. Okay, so in the years since then, I've learned the how and why the treatments are done the way they're done, and what they're affecting, and how to improve the condition of whatever patient I'm seeing. And I want you to know that even now, after I've been doing this for 40 years, I'm still learning on a daily basis new things. Now, knowing this empowers me, and it gives me a greater insight into how to work with each one of my patients. Since age 16, I've been studying basic metaphysics. Oh, dear. Take care of that. And the thing is I always felt like there was something missing. Some concepts. Jerry's trying to shut off my phone. But now when I'm learning the hows and the whys of the work, and with each teaching, I'm trusting that I'm gaining this insight to find out what it is. What was that something that was missing? So as a naturopath, I've learned, through mentors and teachers, what to do, how to do it, how to work with each individual. And when we started the school, the Medicine Wheel in Farmington, that was back in 1990, I made a statement. I said, I am not going to just tell people how to do things. I want them to understand why they're doing them. What is it that really matters? So they learned the workings of the human body, how the foods that you eat, how the thoughts you think, and the emotions that you were feeling. Okay, these affect you. It's not just one thing. When someone has an illness, a dis-ease, okay, it's usually more than one thing. So there are things that you can do, of course, to help all of this. Doing yoga, Pilates, some kind of stretching, exercise. All of this helps you to feel good. It strengthens your immune system. It empowers you, and it clears your mind, gives you energy. Also, making healthy dietary choices that sends, well, food is information. And so when you're eating good food, you're sending information to your cells that in turn helps them to make a good immune system. Okay. Now, in Western medicine, you have about 13,000 different pathologies. That's different diseases, of which perhaps 7,000 of them are iatrogenic. Now, iatrogenic means that it's caused by improper medication or treatment, doctor error. And a lot of the others of the 6,000 are idiopathic, which means they don't know why. But in traditional Chinese medicine, it has a causal relationship of the 50 to 70, depending on which book you read, that gives you a specific reason for each thing. And each organ in your body has a different emotional response. So if you are grieving over something, you may end up with lung problems. And if you're feeling frustrated or angry, then that affects the liver. If you're in a state of fear, you would have a kidney problem. Or actually, if you ever get pissed off at anybody and have a bladder infection, yeah. So don't be angry with people. Okay, so a lot of times we have metaphysical concepts, but without the reasonings and the background behind those reasonings. So we want to know the how, yes, but the what, the where, and the why of all of these ideas. So it's important for me to understand who I am, what is my relationship to others, to the world, and why we need to act ethically and morally, and just what those ethics that take us to a higher spiritual path that we can walk in this world of duality. So even well-meaning people will say some insensitive things, but you really don't want to read too much into that, because it really doesn't matter, because what other people think of you is none of your business anyway. What? It's what you think of you. You know what's in your heart, okay? So choose to spend time with people who allow you to be yourself. And when you're with them, you don't have to worry about what their motives are or what they think. Because we realize that, we can't change the people around us. We only have control over our own reactions. And some people will say, do we have, do we have free will, or is everything predestined? And from Course point of view, everything's already written out. Where our free will comes in is how we perceive things, our reaction to them. And so whatever happens, we can say, I bless this situation in truth. Of course, if we were in India, we'd say namaste, which simply means the spirit within me recognizes the spirit, the divine within you. Okay, we need to know that, so someone says something to us and we have a feeling that guilt is a choice. We don't have to feel that. And we don't want to take that upon ourselves. No one can make us feel guilty unless we choose to take it on. Now, because I matter to me, I matter to my loved ones and to the world, I continue to seek out knowledge behind the actions I make so that I can live a more enlightened and fulfilling life, one with greater understanding of what and how and with whom I am doing these things. This is what matters. Beverly, and I don't even know her last name, but she's from one of the Course in Miracles groups. She says, I am and you are more than just what we see in the mirror. When we have setbacks and begin to think down about ourselves, remember that we are so much more than just this physical body. We need to learn to detach our higher self from our physical self with things such as meditation. So to accomplish this goal, we need to listen to the teachings of mentors who have reached a higher level of understanding and learn how to apply them, and then continue to research and study the esoteric and Gnostic papers. Gnosticism, of course, is very much what Course is based on, and when Ron said 35 years, my 35 years has been with Course and the Gnosticism. For what matters is not only the knowledge, but putting the knowledge into everyday use. And this brings about a higher vibrational understanding. And in doing so, we are raising our vibrations. And when we raise anything, whether it's with the food we eat, the exercise, our spiritual knowledge, we're raising our vibrational levels. And when we do this, we are also strengthening our immune system. Another thought in claiming our power, learn what matters is something who you are, and the more than learning about anything new. Because You can keep learning and learning, and you'll always be learning. But what matters is who you are. So I'm hoping that you will resonate with some of this truth and the ancient knowledge that it comes from. It becomes part of you, part of your higher self. There's a quote by the tribal chief, Chief Seattle, that illustrates our interconnectedness with our Creator and with each other. Humankind is but one thread within the great web of life. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together, and all things connect. And because of Zoom, I get to connect with you. And because there's airplanes, I get to connect with Jerry, which is such a great blessing. So if you've ever looked at a spider's web, you saw how strong it was, but also how interdependent it was with each strand. So each one of us are so important. And just as with this web, others may appear strong, but their real strength is dependent on their communion, their connection with each other. So let us remember that we do not walk alone from each other, and we cannot walk apart from God, the source of our life. As we are told in the Course, if you knew who walks beside you on the way that you have chosen, fear would be impossible. So let us begin each day and every moment by looking lovingly on every living thing, including ourselves, and let us remember that no matter what we or others may have done, God hasn't changed his mind about us. We still remain his loving children, and no matter what the rights or wrongs may be, we now remember the truth so that we might know the beauty of our connection. Alone, we are all lowly, but together we shine with brightness so intense that none of us alone can even think of it. Namaste.
Namaste, Susan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good words. Good words. And some of you may know or not know that I spent the bulk of the 90s dancing in a harbor up in South Dakota, and I learned a lot of their language. Their language is all like one of the things that we talked about, and we began each ceremony with the words "Mitakuye-oyasin," which means to all my relations. It's my acknowledgement of my relatedness to all things in the universe, and they have an intermediary is Tonkashala, would probably be like the teacher of Buddha or Jesus, and then they acknowledge that the Wankan Tonka, the great sacred mystery or the great spirit is their word. A lot of times those are words that are quoted or trying to translated, but all indigenous tribes all over the world are know those concepts, and they live them, and it's just part of their daily life. They were taught from children, and that they it brings about a great peace. And that's when I have trouble is when I'm not acknowledging that I'm connected to all things, and that what I do affect them and what they do affects me, only if I let it. So thank you, Susan. We hope that the storm has passed for you, but it's headed to Florida, and we can pray for the people in Florida and be grateful that you were safe and that Jerry made it down there and that things are good. Does anyone like to say something to Susan? Go ahead. Now's the time. Unmute and go for it.
Okay.
I like the fact that it helps me to remember that collectively we are strong. Individually, we are not as strong. We might not be weak, but we're so much stronger when we're all together, or we're in like-minded people or like-minded souls, or just like-minded thought. I mean, I feel the thoughts from Farmington here via Zoom as strong as I felt them when I was in Farmington. It's this connectivity is just like the invisible webs of the spider web to me. So I thank her for reminding me that my connectivity to all of you is still strong, even though I'm several thousand miles away.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that Fred's ready for another song. Let's welcome Fred.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is everybody muted? I don't know if everybody's muted. There they are. All right. Hi, guys. If you've seen me leaning down a little bit, it's because I found out, about 6-7 months ago that I have cataracts in both of my eyes. And the cataract in my right eye is getting really bad, but they're going to get the surgery done here sometime in December. So I should be able to see a lot better. But I also am going to have some laser surgery in this eye because I got injured practicing on this drum set over here. I let go of one of the sticks slipped out of my hands and somehow flew up in the air. And when I went to grab it, I hit it and it went between my glasses and my eyes and poked me in the eye. So the eye that could see the best now is can't see very well out of it either. So that's the little struggles that I'm having today. As far as the music goes, I really appreciate being able to do this for you guys all the time. But I've been encouraged to reach out and if it is possible. I mean, I lost a lot of gigs this year. And the amount of money that I could tell you about that I've lost just in not being able to perform this year is it's in the probably almost 5 figures. So it hasn't been easy. And I'm really looking forward to next year when the weather gets better and and we can actually open up and socialize. So everybody's feeling it nowadays, even people like myself. And if any of you would like to help out whatsoever, I was asked to show you guys this, so I'm going to do it. This is my virtual tip jar. And of course, there's a Venmo and a PayPal account. So if you would like to give anything, whether it's $5 or $10 or whatever is worth a debit card purchase, that's it. And I can put it in the chat room too. Also, my Venmo and PayPal account. So whatever donation you could give this musician, I'd appreciate it. Like I said, I should be able to see pretty well sometime in here at the end of December, and I won't have to struggle so much learning new music. So I'm trying to play songs that I can, as much as remember, as much as so I don't have to, I can just visualize and see a little bit of the notes. So here's another really good song. And it's a little hopeful, even though the words have a, like I said, dual meaning like all these old country songs do. It was written by Alfred E. Brumley. So this comes from the early 1900s. Some that morning when this life is over, I fly away to a home on like a bird from prison birds have flown. Yeah, I will fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, as I will fly away. Just a few more weary days and then you know I'll fly away to a land where joy will never end. I'll fly away, yeah. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Fred. We will, of course, be praying for you and sending you energy. And money is just a form of energy. That's all it is. It represents energy, and I'm sure that it would help Fred to make it through this time. If you have a little spare something, send it to him. I wish that we had gotten that posted on our chat, but
It's up there now.
got it on the chat? No, it's not
Yeah.
on the chat.
I just posted it on the chat. It should be on the chat.
Is there? All I'm seeing is Virginia found Elora's dance, October 11th. Christine, did you see that, Susan? Okay.
Or maybe I just didn't go to everyone. There it goes. I can't see. It just went to Virginia. There you go.
There you
It should be
go.
Everybody.
Now it's up on the
There it is.
the virtual tip, and it'll be there until we close down the session, and that'll be a little while. So go to the chat and copy down the information so that we can help out our brother when he's having a
Whatever
hard
you can
time.
do will be greatly appreciated.
We know that it will. We know that it will. And I'm just grateful that you had enough trust in us to come to ask us. That's a humbling thing to have to ask people for help. And I know how hard that is. It's hard for me sometimes. It's hard for most people to ask for help, even though they need it. And
That's the truth.
Well, Fred, I want you to know that I'm in the same boat as you. So you're not alone.
I know I'm not.
So yes, Jerry is on my back constantly.
To get her eyes looked at, because I'm sure that it's cataract. But she hasn't been to an eye doctor in 7 or 8 years.
50. It's been a long-
Well, it will turn the corner for all of us, I know, once we can get out and serve the public like we're used to. Especially when you're performing and sharing as part of your income, it becomes something like this is just way out of right field. I mean, even the band that I play with, everybody moved away, and we've got a ton of recorded material and a whole album waiting to be released, but the manager doesn't want to release it because we can't go on tour. So why should we release an album's worth of material and you can't even go on the tour? So
And that's what they call catch-22, isn't it?
it is. It's yeah. I mean, and so I appreciate even being able to perform for you guys these little songs, though it is strange to do it this way. It at least gives me something to work on for a few hours a week.
Well, how are you doing with your new instrument?
It's coming along.
Is it coming? All right, good.
I got them all tuned up now, and I've got the one working. Now I just got to figure out how to play one of them. The other one I can play. I just got to practice some songs on it. But
We have a surprise for you that we're talking in code here. We don't really want you to know, but pretty soon you're going to be able to experience. I don't know if it'll be before you get your eyes fixed or not, but we have a surprise that's everybody's gonna really like it.
yeah, and it's also, trying to figure out how to mic everything up too. You know what I mean? That's the other difficulty that I've been working with. But I've got a new head. I mean, obviously you can hear the audio is a lot better. Then it doesn't sound. I don't think it sounds like it's coming through a can, does it? It sounds pretty big, doesn't it?
No, you're doing good. The Zoom is treating you well.
Well, I got a professional mic here now.
Sure.
So.
Well, that's what I got too. I had all kind of mic problems until I bought a professional mic.
Right. Exactly.
So, well, does anyone have anything that they would like to announce or anything that they would like to say?
Any word from George?
Yes, I spoke to him a few days ago, and he had both sons visiting him. I think the one son had been with him 3 weeks. They needed to get back to work, and they had decided, and it took them a bit, I think, to convince him that it was all right for him to go into an assisted living. And so he is going to be in an assisted living now until he is able to eat comfortably on his own and not have the feeding tube and be able to physically get around. He's having a little bit of a difficulty getting around. He's has a cane and he has difficulty walking.
Yeah.
But he sounded good, and he definitely said that he is feeling his age, but he's trying not to think of it that way, and that he's going to recover.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to be in the assisted living in Durango for several weeks.
Is there only one? Can we get an address?
I am so sorry. There are 2, and he chose one. And I have the name written down somewhere, and I couldn't find it.
But his
But,
phone, you can still reach him on his phone number,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, you can
That'd be
still
the
reach
best
him
way
on
to
his
do it.
phone. Yeah.
And he can speak okay?
Yes, he speaks just fine. Yeah, he just fine.
Thank you, Cynthia. Well, here we are in a new month, November.
Ron,
The year is fleeting by. Go ahead.
have you talked to Don and Neva? Are they okay?
I have not. I was just about to ask if anyone had heard from them. I'm gonna call them after the service if no one has.
Okay, thank you.
I will, but
He told me the name was Health Center. I don't know if that's really the name.
for George.
Yeah, he just said he's moving into the health center for about 7 weeks while he gets radiation. But there was more to the story than that, I can see.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. We had George, and we had Neva, and we had who else did we have that we for Bob. Bob's not here today, is he? How is Bob doing? Nobody knows.
Last I heard, Bob was going to Utah for the second opinion. They're taking kind of a roundabout trip in their camper, and they're going to spend some time up there and have some good times, and also participate in all the testing for the second opinion. So,
Will that be up in Salt Lake, Steve?
yeah, in Salt Lake, that's what the story was. Yes.
Okay.
And then Annie wasn't able to come today because she's taking care of her other Steve friend who is getting ready to go into the hospital to have knee surgery done this coming week. I think it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And so, and Annie, when I talked to her last night, didn't sound like she was in the best of shape, but she had a mission, and that was to take care of Steve. So
Yeah.
let's pray for them both too, including Bob.
There we go.
Ron,
Yes.
for George, it's called the Namaste Health Center. And the address is 1800 East 3rd.
Can somebody put it on the chat for us?
No, because Susan can't see the chat and I can't get to the computer.
Just a minute. Let's check.
Can somebody else put it on there?
Yeah, can somebody put it on there?
Namaste Health Center, 1800 East 3rd Avenue. Number 112, Durango 81301.
Is there a phone number?
Yeah, probably.
Was that 35th Avenue?
Yes.
Okay.
970-247-2043.
I would suggest he's probably more available on his own phone
Yeah.
now that he's kind of sitting in one place all the time.
Probably,
But
but
if
you might,
someone wants to send him some cards or something to cheer him up, that would be the mailing address, correct?
yes. And you might call if you were going to go visit and make sure what the visiting times are.
Mhm.
Is it 1800 or 1880?
I thought it said 1800. Just a minute, let me look again. My eyesight's not any better than anybody else. 1800.
Okay, you put 1880, somebody did on the thing. We need to
I
correct.
put that.
It's 1800 East 3rd Avenue, number 112, Durango 81301.
I wonder why he chose that one.
Namaste.
Okay, I love you all. I'll see you next week. I'll try to be there on Wednesday evening, but I don't guarantee. And I don't, but,
I'll be there.
oh, we'll be there, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking of me. I was wondering if she had plans, but we'll be there.
Okay,
Love you all.
all right.
I don't know where my-
Jenny, thank you for watching the plants. Steve, thanks for watching the building.
Do you have someone picking up the mail?
Sue,
Okay. Sue's taking care of the mail, so she'll
Yeah.
deposit all the checks or whatever that come. We'd like to remind everybody, I know we don't harp on money in fellowship. However, we still have expenses going on, and our only income that we have is what our members graciously give. So whenever you're thinking about writing out a check or doing something for Fred, think about fellowship, because we still have some expenses going forward. And so anyway, does anyone have anything else that they would like to say?
Well, could we get on PayPal too and make it that much more easily
Whatever's
accessible to
easier
our
for
members?
you. Whatever is easier for you.
Well, I mean, there has to be a connection between fellowship and PayPal.
Oh, I don't know if we have Jerry, we don't have a PayPal account, do we?
We do?
No, I was asking her if we do.
Okay.
Left already, but I think you do. I think it's on the
I
website.
think we do have a PayPal
It's
account
on the website.
Okay, great.
on the website.
On the
'Cause
website.
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure we
there's
do have a
link at the
PayPal account.
bottom. It should have the little bird with a P.
It's not a vulture, is it?
No,
No, okay. So long as it's not a vulture.
no. A bird.
Okay. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings of of, of this life that you have given us. We ask that you would help us through these difficult times, whatever these difficult times are. It is hard sometimes for us to be here and the world gets heavy on our shoulders. We ask that you would help us to be uplifted and to walk with the lightness of spirit as we go through this veil of tears. Help us to know the joy of life, and that that there is absolutely nothing that can affect us if we stand close to you. We ask that you would watch over all of us and just make our lives better as we are able to receive your love and share that love among each other. Protect us and keep us safe from any harm that might come to us in any way. Mitakuye.
Akona.
Okay, I'm going to turn off the recording.